Hey, I'm just out here. I haven't even, I don't think I've used, well, I've used a live feature on YouTube. It's been a while. I'm just out here today, well, tonight. Um, I live in Dallas, so I'm at White Rock Lake. But today is my mother's second anniversary since her passing. I did go back to my hometown to see her graveside, and we played, me and my daughter and my dad, we placed flowers on it and everything. And it was just, you know, I hadn't been there in a while, so it was just so, it was good to see her. Her headstone is beautiful. I just, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And we also got to see my sister while I was out there as well. And, it's just like, I it's I've lost my mom and my sister both within kind of a span of two, no, three, 2 years, 2 years. And it's just like it's just made me, I guess, appreciate life and respect mortality and all that stuff even more. And it's crazy because this week kind of ended up being, well, leading up to us going to to see my mom at graveside this week. I kind of got a, how can I put it, I had an emotional gut punch. We'll call it that. Something kind of unexpected that would happen leading up to my mom's passing. And it almost even like took me out to the point, like, do I even want to go down there, because it was a pretty good emotional gut punch, I'll just say. And I'll leave it like that. I don't want to go into detail. But yeah. But just for me, sometimes, I have to remember, and I keep it in perspective, sometimes life will, you will be dealt emotional gut punches in life. And it could be something that, regardless of whether you had any part in it or not. This I didn't have any part in. So at least I can say it, but it still hurt. You know what I mean? But I really have had to try hard within the last 72 hours to keep to just remain positive and keep positive in spite of, and keep pushing and powering through the last 72 hours. Because, like I say, sometimes you just get emotional gut punches like that. And sometimes whenever, things happen that just totally, kind of shake you at your core and hurt, it's like, this is so, I had to keep in perspective that this is temporary. Um, and I don't know what direction it's going to go in, but it's temporary. And, while this is a negative, I have so much, there's so many positive things that I'm trying to strive for and reach in my life, that I can't just let a gut punch overshadow all the positivity, and positive things and things that I'm trying to, goals that I have and things I'm trying to strive for. I can't let that gut punch overshadow all that or cast a storm cloud over all. Well, actually, it's okay to it cast a storm cloud. At least storm clouds are temporary. But I'm just trying to my best because I was grieving for, like, my sister. She passed 23. My mom passed last year. So you're talking about grieving over multiple years. And like this year, I felt like I was finally kind of coming out of that, which I feel like I still am. But sometimes when you have things that happen, it can kind of like, oh shit, where am I? But I'm just determined and empowered not to let that, not to let that kill my joy. Because I still have joy about a lot of things. That's why I'm here tonight. When I first came to Dallas, this is one of the first places, well, actually I came here before I even actually moved to Dallas. But this is like literally like probably my favorite spot in Dallas. And it's like I live close to here, and it's very peaceful at night. Something about the water always clears, helps me clear my mind, and just kind of clear my mind and unpack my thoughts, and kind of helps me be at peace, even with my mind and emotionally. I might be somewhat at war. Something about the water just really relaxes me and just, puts my mind at peace when, yeah, when it needs to be at peace. So I just, that's why I'm here for. Just kind of here unpacking a lot because, like I said, even it was already kind of a delicate time for me, being that it was approaching my mom's birthday since her second birthday since her passing. But when I had something else to kind of also come up in the midst of this, that was again, emotional gut punch. It kind of hit a little bit differently, but I will rise. I will rise. I'm trying to keep things in perspective. I will rise. I will be in a better place than what I am right now. And, this time next year, if I'm fortunate to see it, I know I will be in a much, I hope, and I want to say I know, I want to be confident that I'll be in a much better position that I'm in right now, even, but I'm just trying to, I guess the message of this is just, and that I'm kind of making for myself, kind of documenting for myself, is staying positive in spite of whatever life dishes out at you. And whenever life dishes out things, it can feel like your world's upside down. And trust me, it can feel like your heart's been ripped out and just slammed on the concrete. It can feel like a lot of things, but just try to keep in perspective the positive things and the great things that are happening in your life, your goals, the things you're trying to strive for. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to, give drama or mess or let's say again, emotional gut punches. I'm not trying to give it too much praise or acknowledgement. It's just enough acknowledgement to, hey, this is what I'm dealing with, but also, hey, I'm not going to stay here. I'm gonna power through it. I don't know how, but I'm gonna power through. I don't know how yet. I'm doing the best I can. One day at a time, 1 minute, 1 hour, whatever. But I'm gonna power through it, and that's just where I'm at. And one thing when I saw, because my parents, my dad is still very much alive, so I was definitely grateful to spend that time with him. But my parents, they have like a double gravestone or headstone where when he passes, he'll be buried in that same spot, and they'll update the gravestone with his date of death. And I'm just so glad growing up that I had that example of seeing two black strong parents. I'm just so glad I grew up with that. I grew up with an example of black love. And one thing I learned about love and black love even is that it's not people are all caught up in Instagrammable moments, and then you hear about them breaking up or divorcing or whatever, within a short period of time. But real love, if it's real, it's not Instagrammable, because love isn't glamorous. People think it is, but it's not. Like when my mom passed, my dad was with her in the hospital, and he was waiting. I remember she was having a surgery, and the doctor, the surgeon came out, or whoever told her, hey, she's fine. And then they heard code blue, and things like that. And both of my parents, they just they've been there for each other through thick and thin. And I can only hope to have something like that someday. I don't know if I ever will. I would love to. I would love to. But if not, at least I can say I bared witness to love, real love, and most importantly, real black love. Not that Instagram love or that, social media love, that real black love. You know what I mean? And, I guess I've kind of, that's what I want for myself, of course, but, it's just, I'm not even gonna get off in that. That's a whole other, I'm not gonna get off in that. But, I'm just glad that I had that example growing up, that I was able to bear witness to that, because it gives me hope. It gives me hope. I'm glad. If I didn't see it growing up, I probably wouldn't have hope for it. But I saw it, And like I say, it's not love is not glamorous, but love, real love is not glamorous, but real love is love. I will say that. Real love is like holding your loved one's hand while they're in the hospital. You don't know if they're gonna, how many more days you're gonna have with them, but you're gonna be there with them through it as long as you can, and vice versa. I remember, when I was younger, my dad was in the hospital, my mom was right by his bedside. So, but yeah, I don't want to make this extra long. I really didn't intend to, but it's just kind of things that are on my mind and heart, and I just wanted to, even in the, like I said, even though the past 72 hours have been kind of hard for me, I was just determined, and had the resolve to want to be positive, because you see so much drama and negativity online, and I didn't want to come with that tonight at all, and I probably won't come with that. But yeah, I just wanted to it's more for me probably even than y'all, just to stay positive, power through it all, and keep going in spite of whatever you're dealing with, whether it be job stress, life stress, kid stress, relationship stress, any of that. Just just keep in perspective all the things that are going good in your life. Don't lose perspective of that, because sometimes people, if it's one thing, it could be everything else could be growing great, and it could be that one thing that's not going the way they want it, and they want to focus so much on that one thing that they completely lose sight of everything that's going good. And I don't ever want to be that person. I don't ever want to be that person, because you'll chase something thinking you want something so bad, and it may not be the best thing for you. Sometimes what you think is good ain't good for you, and then you will be so you'll be so you'll be chasing something that when you get it, it's like, and you realize, damn, I got this now, but look at what I lost that was actually good for me. You know what I'm saying? Those kind of things. But that's it. That's all. I'm gonna cut it off here, because I don't want to take this in another direction. But yeah, peace to everybody tonight. If I'm probably can count on one hand the number of people that will actually see this, but I just wanted to share it anyway. Peace, and have a great rest of your week. Good night.